I slept on the couch again last night. The leather is worn in spots, the cushions sag in the middle, and every spring digs into my back. I used to hate this couch because it was old and smelled faintly of dust. Now it's my bed, my fortress, and sometimes it feels more honest than the bedroom upstairs. As I lay there, I kept remembering, maybe torturing myself with, the last time Sarah and I truly made love. It was months ago, maybe 8 or 9, in the middle of the afternoon. She had this new body lotion that smelled like coconut and jasmine. I remember the sunlight through the curtains, the sweat on her neck, how she curled her fingers into my shoulders and dug her nails in, half laughing, half moaning. I can still feel the impression of her hips under my palms, still see her hair spilled across the pillow. But that was then, and this is now. So I pull the thin blanket up to my chest and stare at the dark ceiling, listening to every little creak in the house I pay for, but no longer recognize. The clock on the wall ticks away. 2:00 a.m., 3:00 a.m., 4:00 a.m., like it's counting off the moments I have left before I snap. Because I'm close. God knows I'm close to exploding into a million pieces. But for now, everything is quiet, except for my breathing and the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Morning comes in a slow, gray wash of light. It finds me stiff, unshaven, and not ready to face another day of lies. I stand, stretch, and check my phone. I still have to make it to work, still have to pretend to be normal for a few hours, because there are bills and a mortgage and my son. My son is upstairs in his room, counting on me for stability. And that's all that's holding me together. I shower quickly, letting the water pound against my tense shoulders. As I do, I replay how I got here. I wonder, in the silence of the bathroom, if there was a single moment that changed everything, or if it was a slow bleed from trust to distrust. My eyes burn because I haven't slept. Or maybe they burn because I'm furious. I soak myself up with this mechanical, angry energy, my mind drifting to the memory of hearing her laugh in a way she never laughed for me. Seeing that short video from TikTok, Sarah in the kitchen, the same backsplash behind her, that forced grin, screaming at me, not me, but some version of me, a husband figure, while her friend or neighbor, or whatever he is, Rick, stood off to the side, prompting her, encouraging her to shout louder, degrade me deeper. I dry off, towel over my face, trying to push the memory away. But it's fused to my thoughts like a brand. The bathroom mirror shows a man with tired eyes, faint lines across his forehead, and a subtle streak of gray at the temples. I used to think they made me look distinguished, salt and pepper, Sarah once called it. Now, I just see a stranger. In the kitchen, I hear small footsteps. My son, Jack, is rummaging through a cereal box. He's too young to see the storm building. I can't let him see it, so I plaster on a half smile, ruffle his hair, ask if he's all set for school. "Sure, Dad," he says, munching away. "You were on the couch again. Are you and Mom okay?" He's so matter-of-fact. Kids see everything. I want to lie, but I decide honesty. Well, partial honesty is all I can manage. We'll figure it out, buddy. Don't worry. He nods, as if that's enough for now. I glance toward the hallway to see Sarah stepping out of our bedroom. She's wearing a blouse and jeans, hair brushed in neat waves. She looks good, as if she's going somewhere more interesting than her part-time job, or to meet some online client. She greets Jack with a bright, overdone smile, like she's performing. Then she sees me, and her smile falters. "Morning," she says. I don't reply. I just nod. She tries to hide her frustration at my silence. I know she'd prefer if I said something harsh, some outraged demand or jealous accusation, because then it would justify her own guilt. But I'm not giving her that. I'm too angry to speak, too hollow to argue. She shrugs and continues packing Jack's lunch. "Han," she says after a moment, "I'll need the car around 5. I'm meeting some new prospective client for social media stuff." I set my coffee mug down. "So Rick can't drive you?" Her eyes flicked toward Jack, then quickly away. "Don't start." I let out a quiet, bitter laugh and walk out the door, leaving her with the tension hanging in the air. At work, I juggle spreadsheets and phone calls, trying to distract myself, but it all comes back. The moment I saw that TikTok video, I felt like my heart had been ripped out and pinned to the screen. She's standing there in our kitchen, too close to him, raising her voice in some challenge titled, "Who Screams Louder at Their Husband?" The horrifying part was that she was laughing, like it was a game. That look in her eye, that mocking tone, wounded me more than any physical blow could. I found the video by accident one late night when I couldn't sleep, scrolling aimlessly through random social media. I didn't even know she used TikTok like that. The angles were sloppy, the audio poor, but I recognized everything in the background. Our fridge with the magnets, the chip tile near the sink. And then I heard her voice. So distinct, so change. She was calling out, "Mark, why don't you man up for once?" in a shrill, jesting tone. She never used to talk to me that way. I paused, watching Rick come into frame. He's got that smug grin, that confident posture, encouraging her to yell louder. It wasn't just a silly couples challenge. It was humiliating. I confronted her the next day, and she tried to brush it off. It was just for fun. We were messing around. I wasn't making fun of you personally, but I knew better. I saw the emptiness in her eyes, the way she's changed in the past year, drifting from me, seeking something else, something edgy and exciting. I tried to fix it, tried to make conversation, but she blocked me out. Then I learned the truth. She was sleeping with him. Rick, the neighbor, the out-of-work chef, the man who jokes and flirts with everyone. I found out in the worst way possible, by coming home early one afternoon and hearing familiar sounds from the bedroom. I never thought my stomach could drop like that, my feet anchored to the floor, my heart pounding in my ears. I could barely move, but I had to see. I walked in, and yes, it was them. Naked, entwined, moaning in a twisted parody of how Sarah used to be with me. She gasped when she saw me. Rick scrambled for clothes. And I stood there, cold, silent, like I was half dead. My anger was a force of nature, but I couldn't unleash it. Not yet. That was the day everything changed. Work ends late. I step out into a chilly breeze that rustles the leftover fall leaves in the parking lot. I drive home in silence, not sure if I have the strength for another evening of forced small talk. My thoughts drift to Jack. He's the only reason I keep my voice steady, the only reason I haven't burned this entire house down. When I pull into the driveway, Sarah's car is gone. She said 5, but it's past 6. Jack's with the neighbor's kid. The older woman next door, Mrs. Carver, sometimes watches him for me if Sarah's out. I collect him, thank her quietly, and return home. We heat up some leftover pizza. Jack goes on about a friend's birthday party coming soon, how he wants a bigger baseball glove. I feign interest, but my mind's buzzing with resentment. 2 hours later, Sarah slips in. She tries to greet Jack with a cheerful, "Hey, sweetie," like everything is normal. He nods but then returns to his show. She turns to me, eyeing the cold pizza on the counter. "You could have saved me some," she mutters. "Could have been here on time," I reply evenly. She sets down her purse. For a second, I see guilt in her eyes, maybe even sadness. Then she steels herself. "We need to talk." I let out a long breath, but I follow her into the living room. Jack remains in the other room, volume turned low on the TV. Sarah keeps her voice calm. "We're living like strangers. This can't go on." I stare at her. "No, it can't." She glances at the hallway, probably worried Jack might overhear. Maybe we need some space." The words hit me like a slow, dull hammer. We've tiptoed around it, but hearing it out loud changes everything. I think back to the day I got the DNA test results. I insisted on it because my head was swirling with doubts. But ironically, Jack is mine. Biologically, and in every sense that matters. And yet, I'm still the one being tossed aside while she's off with that jerk, humiliating me online. I feel this surge of anger, molten, pressing against my ribcage. Then, it fades into emptiness. You want space so you can do whatever you want without sneaking around. That's it, right? She flinches. That's not fair. I haven't been happy for a long time, Mark. I let out a short laugh. Oh, I can tell. You broadcast it every chance you get. She tries to keep her composure. I won't do this with you. I'm just saying we need a break. Maybe a separation. I'll stay somewhere else. Rick's place. I ask, voice tight. She doesn't confirm or deny, but the truth is all over her face. I swallow the bitterness, feeling my pulse pounding in my temples. My hands clench involuntarily. I imagine bursting into a million curses, raging about how I can't believe she'd do this. But then I remember the sound of her laughter in that TikTok, the betrayal in our own bedroom. I'm too tired to fight. Fine. I say. Go. She blinks. Just like that. What do you want? A meltdown. You've had your fun humiliating me in front of the whole internet. You want an audience for this too. My voice trembles with suppressed rage. She takes a sharp breath, eyes glistening. For a split second, she almost looks sorry. Almost. Then she steels herself again. I'll pack some things and stay at my friend's house. I can't take this tension anymore. I nod. She walks away to gather her clothes and personal items. I sink onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. The only sound is the muffled TV from the other room, where Jack is trying to pretend he doesn't hear. My heart twists. I need to explain something to him, but I can't yet. I'm too raw. Sarah emerges with a suitcase and tries to speak quietly. I'll call you tomorrow about what to tell Jack. I look up at her. He's our son. Don't you dare spin this like I pushed you out. Please don't make this harder, she hisses, tears in her eyes, but also frustration. A moment passes between us, thick with every word we haven't said. Then she leaves. The door closes, and the echo of it resonates through the silent house. I let out a shaky exhale, a swirl of anger and relief, of heartbreak and cold acceptance. She stays gone for 3 days. In that time, I operate on autopilot. Work, pick Jack up, feed him, help with homework, watch some old baseball highlights late at night. Too numb to sleep. My phone lights up with texts from Sarah about logistics, but nothing more. I keep remembering that day I first saw them together. Not the day I caught them in bed. That was unspeakable. I'm talking about an earlier time. I'd come home from the store, arms full of groceries, only to see them through the window, standing too close in the living room. She had this playful grin, the same grin that used to be reserved for me. At the time, I told myself I was just imagining things, but deep down, I knew. On the 4th day, she shows up. She rings the doorbell. I open the door, and she stands there holding a set of keys, fiddling with them nervously. "Can we talk?" she asks, voice subdued. Jack is at school, so I let her in. She glances around the living room, noticing how tidy it is, like I cleaned the place to keep my mind off the swirling mess of my life. We sit, each on opposite ends of the couch. "I wanted to see Jack," she says. "I'll pick him up later, take him out for dinner. Try to. You know, keep things normal." I nod. "You're his mother. You don't need my permission." She exhales. I also thought about the next steps. Lawyers, custody, all that. I don't want to drag this through the mud, Mark. I grit my teeth. Should have thought of that before hooking up with Rick. She closes her eyes for a second. "Do you think I wanted to hurt you?" "Yes." I answer without hesitation. "Maybe not at first. Maybe you just wanted something new, something exciting. But eventually, you had to know this would kill me inside. And you did it anyway." She doesn't deny it. Her silence is confirmation enough. We stay like that, in thick tension, until she picks up her purse. I'll come back around 6 for Jack. I don't reply. She stands, crosses the living room. At the door, she stops. For what it's worth, I'm sorry it ended this way. When the door shuts, I finally allow myself a single ragged breath. It's 2 days later that I see the next TikTok, the next punch to my gut. One of her friends from social media posts a short clip of Sarah and Rick dancing in someone's living room, presumably at a small party. The caption is some nonsense about, "When you finally found your forever." The camera angle catches them in a slow dance, her head on his shoulder, the lights dim. The stomach-churning part is that I recognize her blouse. It's one I bought her on our anniversary last year. I watch it once, then throw my phone across the room. It lands on the cushion, screen uncracked, mocking me with its durability. I sit there, heart pounding, rage rising. Then it recedes into cold, shaking silence. I want to confront her, to tear down Rick, to blow up this fragile, lying world. But a new voice inside me says, "Don't give them the satisfaction. She's already put you on display. You can't take back those humiliating videos. She's left you for him. Anyway." Screaming at them now, what good would that do except feed their narrative that you're the villain, the unhinged husband? So I gather the shattered fragments of my pride and resolve to say nothing. That's my new plan. Keep my head down, bury everything deep. The following weeks blur. Sarah and I communicate only about Jack's schedule. I see Rick's car in her new driveway once when I drive by. She must be staying with a friend near the city, but I suspect she's spending a lot of nights at his condo too. Rumors swirl among neighbors, but I don't have the energy to address them. Late one Friday, I sit in the dark after putting Jack to bed, scrolling aimlessly again. I see yet another post from her account. This time, she's in Rick's kitchen. At least it looks like one of those modern minimalistic setups. They're doing some silly challenge, half laughing, half teasing each other with flirty innuendo. The comments are full of people cheering them on. Some jokes about how the ex-husband must be so jealous. I drop the phone. This time, I don't throw it. I just let it fall onto my lap. I feel the urge to speak, to let out a primal roar, but the sound dies in my throat. My eyes burn with tears I refuse to shed. My hands tremble. Then, quiet. A knock on the door Saturday morning. I open it to see Rick, standing there in his fitted t-shirt, arms folded. He's got that casual stance, like he's the hero of his own story. "Hey," he says, looking around. "Sarah asked me to pick up some stuff for Jack. She said it's in the bedroom closet." The nerve. My fists clench. But I simply let out a breath. "I'll get it." He steps forward, as if to come inside. I block him with a raised hand. "Stay right there." His eyebrows lift. "What's the problem, man?" I glare. "The problem is that you're a lying, cheating scumbag. That's the problem." He smirks. "Hey, relationships fall apart. You can't handle her not wanting you anymore. That's on you." Something in me cracks. I step forward, standing toe to toe. I want to punch him, but that would just give him an excuse to retaliate, and I have too much at stake. Instead, I keep my voice low. "Don't ever try to come in here again." He shrugs, smiling like none of this matters. "Whatever you say, boss. Just get the kids' things." I turn on my heel, storm to Jack's closet, grab the sports bag with a few changes of clothes, a baseball glove, a small plush toy. My breath comes in ragged bursts as I walk back. I toss it at Rick's feet on the porch. "Don't come back," I growl. He picks up the bag, tosses it over his shoulder. "You look like you're about to explode, man. Might want to get that under control." I slam the door in his face. My heart is pounding, my anger swirling like a vortex. Then it all subsides into that same hollow feeling that's been taking over. That night, lying on the couch yet again, I remember the day the DNA test results came in. I had demanded it when I realized how long Sarah and Rick had been sneaking around, questioning whether Jack might actually be his child. I recall the cold sweat as I opened the envelope in this very living room. My mind was racing with fear. What if he's not mine? Then the result, 99.99% father. Relief and heartbreak all at once. Because yes, he was mine, but everything else was destroyed. Sarah confirmed the affair began only months ago, well after Jack was born. She'd sworn that at least was true. Yet the knowledge that I'm Jack's biological father didn't mend the betrayal. Maybe in some twisted sense, it made things more excruciating, knowing Sarah had thrown us away for cheap thrills with that man. Sometime after midnight, I drift off into a restless dream. I see Sarah at our kitchen table, laughing. Then the scene flickers. She's in Rick's condo, wearing the same nightgown she used to wear for me. Next, she's screaming at me online, feeding off applause. My fists tighten in the dream, but I can't speak. I wake up covered in sweat, panting, my heart racing. Time lurches forward another few weeks. Sarah and I have hammered out an informal arrangement. She has Jack on certain weekends, I have him on others. During the week, he stays mostly with me unless she wants an evening visit. She's found a small apartment across town. I avoid driving past it. The tension is thick whenever we exchange Jack's items, but mostly we keep conversation minimal. In the quiet after Jack goes to bed, my mind wanders to fantasies of revenge. I imagine hacking her social media accounts, exposing her. I imagine a confrontation with Rick in a dark parking lot, leaving him bloody on the ground, or emailing his catering clients with false rumors. But every time, I come back to the same conclusion. It's pointless. It won't fix what's broken inside me. Revenge. The word tastes bitter. My father once told me something after he'd been cheated by a business partner. Revenge is wasted energy. You gotta let your success talk. Or your silence. I never thought I'd apply that to my marriage, but here I am. So I remain quiet, and that quiet grows like a storm cloud. I can't avoid seeing Sarah forever. She still has a key to the house, at least for now. One afternoon, I come home early from work and find her in the living room, gathering a few leftover items. She looks up at me, startled. "Hi," she says softly. My jaw sets. "You should let me know when you plan to come over." She straightens. "I assumed you were at work." I drop my briefcase by the door. "What do you need?" She hesitates, shifting a picture frame in her hand. The three of us at a lakeside cabin, all smiles. She gazes at it like it belongs to another lifetime. I was just picking up a few old memories, photos. I nod, stepping closer. I see her eyes flick over me, noticing the tension in my shoulders. She tries a small smile that looks forced. "You okay?" I almost laugh at that. "Does it matter?" She sets the frame down, crossing her arms. "Listen, I know you hate me right now. I accept that." I shrug. "Good. Mark, I'm not proud of how things happened, but it's better this way." My voice is quiet. "For you, maybe." She bites her lip, glancing at the window. Outside, the yard is still and gray. "It wasn't working anymore," she mutters. "We were stuck." I felt suffocated. I close my eyes. A memory flashes. Her wrapping her arms around me after I got promoted, the gratitude in her voice. When did that change to resentment? My jaw clenches. Is that why you decided to humiliate me online? Why you let Rick film you screaming about how worthless your husband is? Her eyes widen. It wasn't about humiliating you. It was some silly challenge. Did you stop to think? I interrupt. That the man you were joking around with was also the man you were cheating with. How that might look. She looks away. I'm sorry. I stare at her for a long moment, seeing the woman I once loved, the mother of my child, and a stranger all at once. My anger flares like a dying ember, then quiets. I shake my head. Take what you want, and go. That's all I've got to say. She nods, tears forming. I watch her quietly gather a few more photos and slip them into her bag. She walks out without another word. When the door closes, I'm alone. My chest is tight, but but I say nothing. Silence is my shield. The day I finally explode, ironically, is also the quietest. It's a Tuesday evening. I'm in the kitchen trying to cook chicken stir-fry for me and Jack. He's busy doing homework at the table. My phone chimes. It's a notification from someone's social feed. Out of reflex, I glance at it, see a short video. Sarah and Rick are joking around in a car, apparently on some road trip. She's in the passenger seat, leaning over to whisper something in his ear. He cracks up and flips the camera to himself, wiggling his eyebrows like he's scored the biggest prize. The caption reads, "Gonna make some big moves soon. Stay tuned." That's all it takes. Every swirling emotion, anger, betrayal, heartbreak, disgust, bubbles over. I slam my phone down on the counter, and it clatters onto the floor. Jack jumps in his seat, eyes wide. I see him recoil, frightened. I stop, breathe deeply, and realize my fists are clenched so tight my knuckles are white. "Dad." Jack's voice is trembling. "You okay?" I look at him, at his innocence, and the rage in me collapses into shame. "I'm fine, buddy. I'm sorry. Just spilled something." But we both know that's not true. I turn off the burner, the chicken half-cooked, and walk into the living room. I gather my composure before returning and finishing dinner in robotic silence. Sarah's mother calls me a few days later. The phone rings late, almost 9:00 p.m. "Mark, how are you holding up?" she asks gently. I swallow. Well, I'm managing." She sighs. "I want you to know that I never condone this. Never. Sarah's father would be livid if he were alive. Hearing that doesn't bring me comfort. I thank her politely, assure her that Jack is okay. She starts to say something else, but I can't handle the sympathy. I make an excuse and hang up. Nighttime again. I'm on the couch as always. I used to feel lonely here, but now I feel numb. I close my eyes and let my mind drift to an odd fantasy. I see Sarah returning, apologizing, begging for forgiveness. And I see myself turning away, letting her pleas fall on deaf ears. That image flickers through my head with savage satisfaction. Then another image emerges, me standing in an empty living room, handing over divorce papers, walking out the door, leaving behind the ghosts of our marriage. And that image, that's the one that soothes me, because I want to be free. She calls me a week later. My phone buzzes with her name. I consider ignoring it, but curiosity wins. "What?" I say. A pause. "Mark, can we meet somewhere? I need to talk, face to face." "About?" Her voice wavers. "Jack. And us." I glance at the clock. "Fine. Tomorrow, after work, at Murdoch's Diner. 6:00. She agrees. Murdoch's is an old-school place with red vinyl booths and a jukebox in the corner that nobody uses. I sit there sipping stale coffee, waiting. Sarah arrives in a coat, hair tucked behind her ears. She looks around nervously and slides into the booth across from me. "So," I say, "you wanted to talk." She fiddles with the napkin. "I've been thinking about custody and how we handle holidays and birthdays." I nod slowly, waiting. She swallows. "I also want you to know that Rick and we're serious. It's not a fling." The words slice into me, but I keep my face stoic. She continues, "I'm going to move in with him soon. I'd like Jack to be comfortable there sometimes. We'll set up a spare room for him." It takes me a minute to process. My heart thuds. She wants my boy to live in that bastard's home, to be part of their twisted new life. My anger surges, but again, I clamp down on it with an iron grip. "Then you'll have to get your lawyer to formalize that arrangement," I say, voice quiet. She looks pained. "Mark, come on. Don't shut me out. Jack loves both of us." "Don't pretend we're a team," I reply. "You made sure that ended." She blinks rapidly, tears forming, but she holds them back. "I was unhappy, and I made choices. I can't change that. I'm trying to be civil. I stare at her, remembering the girl who used to wrap her arms around me after a bad day, the one who whispered she'd love me forever. It's gone. She's not that person anymore. I place a few dollars on the table for the coffee. Then be civil. Go through the lawyers. Don't expect me to play happy families with your affair partner. She swallows. Are you going to fight me on custody? No. Jack's old enough to see who's there for him. He'll decide in time what kind of person his mother is. She closes her eyes, pained. That's not fair. I love him. I loved you. I say, so quietly, she has to lean in to hear. And you threw that away. She wipes a tear from her cheek, stands up and leaves without another word. Over the next days, I talk to a lawyer, fill out preliminary paperwork. I also book an appointment with a therapist. Anger, heartbreak, nightmares, everything has been crushing me for weeks, and I need somewhere to unload it. The first therapy session, I can barely speak without choking on bitterness. But eventually, I manage to say, I feel like a fool. I gave her my trust. Now she's humiliating me online. The therapist nods sympathetically. You're grieving the end of a marriage. And there's betrayal involved. That's intense. I feel my shoulders tighten. I want to hurt them. I admit. I want them to suffer. Then I realize that's not going to help. He nods, a calm presence in the storm. Sometimes, the best revenge is living well, finding your own peace. I almost laugh at the cliché, but part of me knows he's right. I'm so tired of letting them occupy my every thought. Time slides on. Jack's adjusting to a routine of dividing his time. I take him fishing one weekend, and attempt to bond like my father did with me. He laughs when he reels in a small trout. I realize how much I've been missing with him by wallowing in my own anger. So I focus on the moment, the crisp air, the water, his excitement. On the drive home, he's quiet, fiddling with the fishing rod in the back seat. Finally, he asks, Dad, do you think Mom's happier now? That question hits me like a hammer. I grip the steering wheel, steady my breath. I don't know, Jack. He nods. I want her to be happy, but I also don't like seeing you sad. I swallow hard, eyes stinging. I'll be okay, buddy. I promise. That might be the most honest thing I've said in a while. Months pass. The divorce is in motion. Sarah has moved in with Rick. She's posted more videos, though I avoid social media altogether these days. I hear from acquaintances that they show off their happy life, but I refuse to watch. One Saturday, Sarah picks up Jack. They drive off to Rick's place, presumably for a weekend together. That evening, I sit alone in the house, thinking of how I used to fear being alone. Now, I find it almost calming. The silence is no longer suffocating. It's a companion. I realize that the life I had is gone, and all that remains is me. I reflect on a conversation with my lawyer, who said Sarah is willing to settle amicably. No alimony, shared custody. She's not after my house or my income, not beyond what's fair for Jack. Maybe the guilt is driving her to be less vindictive. Or maybe she just wants a quick release to start her new future. Either way, I'm not complaining. The final confrontation comes out of nowhere. I receive a call from Sarah, her voice frantic. Mark, can you come to the condo? Jack's okay, but something happened. My pulse skyrockets. What do you mean? Is he hurt? No, Rick. Rick had too much to drink, and he started yelling at Jack about something. I intervened, and it got ugly. Just, please come. I grab my keys, heart pounding, and race across town. By the time I arrive at the condo, the lights are on, door slightly ajar. Inside, I see a tense scene. Rick is leaning against the wall, a bottle in hand, face flushed with anger. Sarah stands next to Jack, protective. Jack rushes to me, tears in his eyes. Dad. I kneel, hugging him. It's okay. What happened? He sniffles. He got mad that I spilled soda on the couch. He started yelling really loud. Mom tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen. I feel a deep anger simmering, but I keep it controlled. I look up at Rick. "You yelled at my kid." Rick sneers, clearly a bit drunk. "He ruined my couch. I told him to be careful." Then Sarah got all high and mighty. I stand slowly, leveling a stare at him. "You talk to my kid with respect, or we have a problem." He laughs bitterly. "What are you gonna do, tough guy? You gave up your wife without a fight." I step closer, fists clenched, but Sarah intervenes, pressing a hand to my chest. "Mark, please, not in front of Jack." My breath is ragged. I look down at my son, see the fear in his face. That stops me. I gather my composure, run a hand over my mouth, and turn to Sarah. "Pack his stuff. He's coming home with me." She nods quickly. As she shuffles Jack into the bedroom to grab his bag, Rick stumbles forward. "Don't you walk away, man. This is my place." I focus on the mantel, noticing photos of them with forced smiles. My mind flickers back to every humiliating moment, every betrayal. The old me would want to punch him, but I don't. I just look him in the eyes, letting my silence speak volumes. "You're a coward," he mutters, swirling the liquor in his bottle. I let out a quiet breath. I'm not the one who yells at a 10-year-old over a couch. He tries to snarl something else, but Sarah and Jack come out. I take Jack by the hand and leave. Sarah follows us out to the car. She looks shaken. "Thank you," she whispers. "I'm so sorry." I meet her gaze. "He's your problem now." I'm done. She blinks, tears forming. I help Jack into the car. Without another word, we drive off. In the rearview mirror, I see her standing on the sidewalk, arms crossed over herself, small and lost. Part of me almost feels pity, but that pity is a faint echo compared to the numb resolution filling my chest. 2 weeks later, the divorce is finalized. I sign the papers in a lawyer's office alone. A small hush falls over the room as the notary stamps everything. Done. Just like that, nearly a decade of marriage is boiled down to a stack of legal documents. I walk out into the sunshine, and I feel, strangely weightless, like an invisible chain has snapped. Sarah and I arrange that Jack will live primarily with me. She can visit whenever she wants, provided she stays civil. Rick remains in her life for now, though I hear rumors of fights. Frankly, I don't care. I pack up some of her old things, set them in a box. I find that nightgown from the day I caught them, crumpled in the back of a drawer. I toss it in the trash. One morning, as I'm heading out with Jack, there's a surprise in the mailbox. An official letter from a real estate attorney. Rick is apparently behind on payments for his condo, or so it says, and there's talk of foreclosure if he doesn't catch up. I guess the perfect forever might not be so perfect after all. Jack's waiting in the car, so I tuck the letter away, deciding it's none of my business. I climb behind the wheel, turn on the engine, and glance at my boy. "You okay, Dad?" he asks, like he's testing the air between us. I nod, giving him a small smile. "I think so, buddy. Let's go." We drive in comfortable silence, the radio playing low. I think about the mania of the last months, the anger, the hurt, the humiliations. And I realize I don't feel that raging knot in my chest anymore. The world feels calmer, or maybe I'm calmer. Some days later, I receive an unexpected visitor. Sarah. She stands on the porch, looking worn, shoulders slumped. I step outside, closing the door behind me so Jack doesn't overhear. "I left Rick," she says, voice trembling. "It got bad. I can't. He drinks, he picks fights. I was wrong about him." I swallow, letting that register. "So, why are you here?" She looks up at me, eyes full of unshed tears. I needed to say sorry. Really sorry for everything. And, I don't know, maybe see if there's any chance for us. A heavy silence falls. I stare at her face, noticing the shadows under her eyes, the lines of regret. Once upon a time, I would have given anything to hear her say she was sorry. Now, all I can muster is a sad kind of pity. I search her eyes, but the trust we had is gone, replaced by the memory of her mocking me on social media, lying in bed with him. I can't, I say quietly. She inhales sharply, tears sliding down her cheeks. I understand. I just thought maybe. I shake my head. You didn't think at all, Sarah. Not about me or Jack. And now you want me to fix your mistake because you realized the grass wasn't greener. She tries to steady her breathing. You're right. I can't change what I did. An overwhelming calm settles over me. I'm done. And I'm free. I hope you find your way, but it won't be with me. She wipes her tears with the back of her hand. Okay, I'll respect that. I nod, turning to go back inside. She stands there, maybe waiting for me to look back. But I don't. I walk in, close the door softly, and lock it. A few days later, I'm standing in the backyard, looking at the worn fence, the patchy grass. The sun is bright, and birds are chirping. A slight breeze moves through the trees, and I feel something that's become unfamiliar. Peace. Jack calls my name from inside. Dad. I go in, see him holding a baseball glove. Could we go practice? I smile, the corners of my mouth lifting for real this time. Sure thing. We head outside and toss the ball back and forth. Each throw is sharp, the sound of the glove popping with each catch. He laughs when one throw goes wild, and I jog to retrieve it. My heart pumps with a sense of life I haven't felt in months. At one point, he looks at me with a grin. I'm glad we're doing this. I nod, returning the smile. Me too. As we continue throwing the ball, a thought flickers in the back of my mind. Revenge. My father was right. It's wasted energy. And at last, I feel the truth settling into my bones. My revenge was never going to be some triumphant spectacle. It's my silence, my refusal to be her punching bag, my choice to move on. That's how I reclaim myself. After a while, my arm gets tired, and we head inside for cold drinks. Jack runs upstairs to his room, humming some tune. I glance at the living room, my couch, the battered old piece of furniture that once felt like a punishment. Now it feels like part of my domain, a quiet comfort instead of a symbol of defeat. I sit down, letting the memories wash over me. Sarah's betrayal, Rick's smug face, the nights I spent on this couch haunted by the smell of her perfume, the videos that mocked my existence, the day the DNA test confirmed Jack was mine. All of it was a slow, excruciating lesson in how far love can fall. But now, in this moment, my chest feels lighter. I lean back, close my eyes, and breathe. I'm not forgiven, nor am I forgiving, but I've let go. And that, more than anything, sets me free.